This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Small Business Today Radio with Cruz and Hughes here on Blog Talk Radio, where we discuss the topics that inspire entrepreneurs from thought to action. Today we're going to be welcoming your calls, your comments. You can join us in the chat room at Blog Talk Radio at Cruz and Hughes, or you can call in to right here to our studio where we're broadcasting live from our broadcast offices in Houston, Texas at 347-857-3958. So get your pen handy. We've got experts in the house today, and you're going to want to be sure and call in or chat or just give us your comments. Chime in. You can join in the conversation again, 347-857-3958. Now, before we get started today, folks, I want to share a little bit with you because I want you to know that today I went to a trade event that was held here in Houston, and it was put on by a supplier development council here. And I had the opportunity to be around literally thousands and thousands of people who are looking to do business with very large companies, looking to do business with government agencies, literally trying to sell their wares. It was a great, great event. It was put on by the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council, really great group here, and you probably have a supplier development council in your area, and so we certainly encourage you to take advantage of those if you happen to have one of those in your area. By the way, if you do run across anything in the show today where you want to contact me directly or John Cruz, as you might see if you're watching us live from Ustream.tv, John Cruz is out fishing and left me here in the studio. So we're going to have a great time while the boss is out of town. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you today about how to keep yourself on track. I want to talk with you about how to take care of yourself as a business person. What is going on in your head, man? Because you know what? I spent a lot of time with some people today watching them interact with one another, watching them trying to forge new relationships. And folks, I got to tell you, some of our people need help. Just a general lack of confidence in a lot of cases because somebody you might feel like is bigger than you, stronger than you, more money than you, more whatever. But let me tell you, nobody has more than you. Nobody has more than you. Why? Because you came here standard with all the equipment you needed to succeed in your business. That's why you've been pushed to start your own business. One of the things I know about you is you are probably not normal. How do I know that? Because you're in your own business. 5% of the American public is self-employed. That means 95% of the public works for abnormal people like us. I've been self-employed for a long time. I am hardcore unemployable. And so since John Cruz is out fishing somewhere off the coast of Costa Rica, I want you to know, those of you who are John's fans, he is planning to come back. I warned him that down in Costa Rica, you could actually catch something bigger than you. And so what I've advised him to do is be sure and cut the line. All right? So now with that said, I want to introduce to you today's guest, who is going to be my co-host today, which I'm extremely excited about. And for those of you who don't know how powerful this lady is, and you're going to find out here in just a few moments because I've got all kinds of great questions to ask her, and some of these questions she knows I'm going to ask, some of them she doesn't, so we're going to have a little bit of fun with that. But we have in studio today Miss Tina Marie Jones, who is a speaker, a coach, an author, an innovator, a relationship builder, a networker, boy, I don't even know what else to say. There's a long list of credentials this nice lady has. And not only that, but she's great for you guys who might be listening or watching on Ustream because she just makes you feel better. I know you're jealous because I'm sitting here with her. If you're watching on Ustream, I know you know what I'm talking about. I won't go there any further. But I have to say this. welcome to the show, Miss Tina Marie.
Well, Irv, it's so great to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm sort of glad John's down fishing.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wow, I feel better already. So anyway, I got a series of questions I want to ask you. I know you've got like a bio like this.
Right.
And one of the things that we're going to do today, and I'm going to ask you some of these questions, because one of the things we want to do is we want to help our listeners learn how to take care of themselves. Tina Marie, what I saw today was a lot of people, they were working really hard to forge new relationships. Mm-hmm. We have today all kinds of things happening to small business people that are weighing on them, whether it's weighing on them mentally or weighing on them spiritually or emotionally or whatever. There's lots of weight. And what I noticed is, and I'm gonna just throw this out, and it might sound, tiny and elementary to you, but what I noticed is a lot of people weren't having any fun.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
They wasn't having any fun in there. And I'm thinking, wow, you got an opportunity. You're in business for yourself. You've got an opportunity in one place to talk to some of the largest customers you could introduce yourself to. And you're struggling with this, and I'm like, wow, you should be like a kid in a candy store.
Right. I think we go around with too much expectation on what other people expect from us.
Yeah.
And that we're supposed to portray this one image of having it all together.
Yeah. Right.
All the time.
Right.
And what I coach people to do is show up just as you are and then get very curious with the person you're talking with.
Right.
Whenever we network and whenever we're doing business, the truth is there is no business transaction if there's not first a need.
Absolutely. And you know what? I couldn't agree with you more, because part of what happened today, of course, hey, I've been doing this 26 years, so I've been doing this
and
a
you
long
look
time.
So good.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really old enough to be your dad. But the truth is what I noticed was there's a lot of people either got lost in what it was they were supposed to be doing.
Right.
Maybe not focused, didn't ask all the right questions, those sorts of things. And it was really interesting to watch them try to adjust and really get thrown. You could tell a lot of people didn't have a system in place. They didn't have objectives about what they wanted to do. And so people would throw them curveballs, and boy, I just watched people just strike out something fierce. And I was like, wow, man, you had an opportunity right there.
Yeah.
And then they didn't pick up on the patterns. And it was partially, I think, Tina, because a lot of them wasn't listening very well.
There you go. You just hit on a key point. We need to listen. We need to ask more questions than we speak.
Right.
Whenever we're networking and when we're wanting to do business in general.
Right.
Listening skills are mandatory. And then you also said something else, Irv, that is very important. It's having a plan.
Yeah, look, folks, that is an opportunity, let me tell you. When you get the opportunity to go into a conference or a trade event where you're trying to sell your goods and services, and the people who buy your goods and services are literally sitting there in front of you,
right.
I'm sorry, folks, that's an opportunity. That is not a situation where now you go in and you don't rehearse and you kind of fumble through it and you fly by the seat of your pants, because you're not going to get the results that you were hoping to get.
Right. And some of us just go to networking events thinking we're going to talk to people. The one thing I want to say about networking, Irv, is that we need to have an understanding of what networking looks like.
Right.
It's not about spending time to find your next best friend. You simply ask enough questions to find out if your services meet the needs of the person in front of you. And if they don't, you thank them for their time and say, I'd like your card. Maybe I can refer something to you, but you move on.
Right. Absolutely. But you know what? I'm going to do this because I want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to connect directly to Tina Marie. So we're going to talk about this throughout the show, but I want to give Tina your information if I can.
Sure.
Anybody, folks, if you want to connect with Tina Marie, you can do so at TinaMarieJones.com. So that's very easy, TinaMarieJones.com. Or you can give her a call at 888-721-4204. That's 888-721-4204. Now, with that out of the way, I wanted to make sure we got that in.
Thank you.
Because when you have experts like yourself, when we get the opportunity to have somebody like you on the show, I want people to really be able to get and connect with you privately, of course, off the air, and to be able to really share with you and get the best from you about what it is you do and so on and so forth. Now, with that said, though, I want to talk about what it is you do.
What I do in the world?
Yes. What do you do in the world? What do you do in your business? Because you're a business person, too.
I am.
And so, and I would guess firstly, really perhaps a business person more so than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to get into that. So just real short, capsulize, what do you do?
I teach people how to have self-worth and self-esteem in what they are and what they do and how they show up in the world. And very often people will not get the results they want because they don't have confidence in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't understand how that self-worth and that self-confidence enters the room before they do.
Wow.
And if you doubt yourself and you really think you're heading down a stream where you do not have the paddles and the equipment to make it good for yourself, you're going to sabotage yourself. And so I pull that saboteur out. We completely expose it. We give it a new name. We promote it to the board of directors, and we call it your biggest cheerleader. So I completely take that saboteur mind and give you a whole new reason for it to be there, trying to chop your legs out. Instead, it's going to be the person rowing your boat.
Wow, how cool is that? And so really, you provide folks with a vehicle to become a better them than perhaps they are at the point that they meet you.
Right. It's how to manage doubt. We're all going to have doubt. And the truth is, if we're growing, we're going to be uncomfortable. We have to get to that edge.
That's right. That's right.
How do you manage that
right.
You know, that energy there.
Yeah, and there is energy there.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of people don't believe that there is energy there, but there is.
Mm-hmm.
And, when we come back, I'm going to come back and we're going to talk to you more about how you go about the business of pulling out that energy, because I believe a lot of people have nerves about that.
Right.
After what I saw today, I can tell, I don't know if, people are just unsure. And I know that that's probably driven by fear, if nothing else.
And I've got a way to handle that fear, and it's very easy.
All right. Well, cool. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. If you have not gotten your free digital copy, your subscription of Small Business Today magazine, you can do so by going to smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com. More in a moment with Miss Lisa Marie. Did I say Lisa Marie? Oh my God, Lisa Marie, Tina Marie Jones. We'll be right back.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for Coffee News. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's Coffee News.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan.
This storm's coming.
The legend ends in IMAX. What are you?
Costumes reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at svtmagazine.net. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Welcome back to the show, folks. If you're just joining us, we're here with Miss Tina Marie Jones, who is an expert on many things, but perhaps if you're our listening audience, you own or operate a small business, and she is a speaker, coach, and author. And you can reach out to her at TinaMarieJones.com, or you can give her a call at 888-721-4204. Now, Tina, when we left, we were talking about harnessing that energy that has people, I don't know, I call it fear.
Right. Right.
Fear, like people driving around with their brake on, and they won't let that inner person come out and really kind of bubble to the top and let people know who that is.
That's true. That authenticity doesn't shine whenever we're scared.
Right.
And we're trying to compare ourselves to other people to make sure we've got it right and that we're not going to be cast out and embarrassed or shamed.
How do we know what's right? Because we're measuring ourselves by people around us, or how do we know what's right?
The truth is, many of us have schooling, but in today's market, with things moving so fast and the economy changing and world markets changing, and if you don't have the wherewithal to keep up with all of that and understand, I say just simply follow your heart. And we talked about this earlier, Irv, and it's listening, understanding the needs of the people that you want to do business with.
Right.
And being willing to say, no, I'm not the right fit for you.
Wow.
Is very comforting.
Right.
So it's, I always had, whenever I taught sales, it was a sales technique, which is, this is who I am and what I do. However, I want to know what you need. And if I'm a good fit, then we're going to make some decisions on that. And if I'm not, that's okay too. So it's being okay with walking away,
right,
and the pressure completely diminishes.
Right.
And fear also comes with not knowing who and what you are, really. What are you doing in the world and what value is it to the other person?
And value is a big deal, folks. We talk about it a lot on this show. What is your value proposition? Not only to your customers, you got to have that value proposition to yourself. You got to know what that is before you get in front of a customer or a prospect, because if you don't know what that is, folks, trust me, you cannot convey it to anyone else.
Exactly. And Irv, that comes from understanding what your core values are.
Right.
We as people need to know what really jazzes us, what gets us up in the morning. If we are not in alignment with our core values, we will sabotage our success. No matter what people tell us we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it, if it doesn't align with that principle that we know that we are in the world, we're not going to be successful. Simply put.
I can appreciate that, Tina, and that kind of makes a good segue into one of the things I want you to touch on is getting that business owner's mindset.
Right.
What is that mindset? How do we get there? Like, for example, people who are going to a conference, they know they're going to meet very important people that's going to have an impact on their future. That's going to have an impact on how profitable their business may or may not be going forward. How do they set the right mindset? First thing in the morning, they do what?
Well, what I do is I start the day the night before. And why I do that is that we're going to have a plan that next day. If we wait till the morning to do it, sometimes things happen.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then it's by the afternoon we're going, what am I doing and what track am I really on?
Right.
So I plan the night before, and I ask people to do that. In fact, I've got a product on my website called POV. If you want to check it out, it's the POV system. And it's simply understanding how to focus the entrepreneurial mind and how to start your day. You start the night before. And I teach how you keep a list of the things that really are nagging at you that you need to do. There's some things that are just going to be getting on your nerves because you don't want to do it, and there's other things you want to do, but we need to balance the two.
Right.
And then you set forward to do 6 of those things in the morning, and I teach how to do that, but simply put, do not overwhelm yourself saying that you're going to accomplish more than 6. It's been proven that 6 things is calm to our nervous system. Mm-hmm. And whenever we set that out in the morning and we know that we're going to achieve that, we actually have a sense of satisfaction at the end of the day. Now, there's a catch.
Okay.
The first 3 things in your daily plan need to be income producing.
Gotcha. Ooh, that's good.
We need to focus on the money.
Oh, that's good.
And some people go, I need to order business cards. I need to balance my checkbook. I need,
Yeah,
save that for after lunch.
Yeah, everything but what pays the bills.
We need to focus on making money first. And there's so many people with mindsets, even business owners, that are going, well, I don't want to be all about the money. Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah.
We need to get rich first before we can save the next guy.
That's right. Put your own mask on first.
Right.
That's
Save
right.
yourself first. And we will not think poorly of you. In fact, those people that do that, we revere and we want to follow in their footsteps. But sometimes we fail to do the very thing we know is right for ourselves.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this, because now you have something called a power call.
That's true.
All right. Now, I'm going to reach out in here, and I'm going to lean on you a little bit here, because I want to know, what is a power call and why should somebody get on it?
The power call is, you start out your day, and this is for the people in the North American continent, even though I have people in Australia that join us, and they're joining us at the end of their day.
Oh, wow. Aren't Aussies fun?
I love Aussies.
They're great.
They're great. And so what it is, it's 15 minutes, a simple 15 minutes. You can do this in the car on the way to work. And it is a validation. I validate the human spirit and what we are and what we're doing and why we show up in the morning. Okay. Why'd you even get out of bed?
Wow.
Then I also bring in a very influential person. More than not, it's going to be somebody you've read in business or in human development, and they're going to give you their take on the cream of the crop advice that you're going to need to hear. And it's going to align exactly where you need to be in your life, guaranteed. And then we're going to give you a technique, and we're going to set you on your way.
Wow, how cool is that? So now you leave is this every day?
Monday through Friday.
Wow, so every weekday you get the opportunity to get on the power call.
Yes.
And get vectored. I call it vectored.
I love that word.
You get vectored.
Yeah, let's get vectored together.
That's right. That's right.
All of us.
You get vectored so that you can have a direction to go for the rest of the day. And I think by being vectored, you really make it easier for yourself, and people that you work with and interact with, easier to say no, because you're vectored. So things that don't line up with your vector,
you'll understand it sooner.
You'll understand it sooner. And how valuable is it, folks, for us to know that we're going to get into trouble before we get into trouble?
Yeah.
How valuable is that? And I think that's great. And the power call, how long have you been doing that?
We've been doing that for a couple months. I'd actually been doing it with only my coaching clients for years.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
But now I'm opening up to the world because people need that validation. We need that yes in the morning to start our day, and it's only 15 minutes. And so what I've done is I've put a wonderful offer together for your listeners.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, if they go to my website, right there on the front, you can either go to products or you'll see the very first post where you're mentioning this show today. Click on the links there. Use the coupon code BIZ.
BIZ. That's easy, folks. BIZ, and you can go to TinaMarieJones.com.
Yes, and it's normally $97 for lifetime calls.
Lifetime of calls.
But now it's $19.97.
Wow, and you heard it here, right here on Small Business Today Radio with Cruz and Hughes. Thank you so much for that. I know our listeners are absolutely going to take advantage of that. Is it all right if people at Cruz and Hughes Radio do that too?
Of course, please.
All right. So
I may even get a break for you guys.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's very cool. Well, you know what though? Let me get you to touch on this. Why do people tend to not want to be honest with themselves? I've seen people, and perhaps you have too,
yes,
where you've seen business people literally not be honest with themselves. Either, I don't know, they take it as a personal indictment if they are not good at something, or perhaps it's almost like they'll ignore the things that they're absolutely stellar at, and they'll focus on all those things that they're really terrible at.
Well, there could be two reasons for that. One, that could just simply be a distraction.
Okay.
Some of us can get down in the pit of those things that will distract us because it's easier to be in the morass of things that seem important but really aren't.
Okay. Okay. That's right.
And we need somebody on the outside to slap us around a bit and go, get out of there. What are you doing?
Yeah. It's like the old doctor says, yeah, doctor, I broke my arm in 3 places. And he says, stay out of those places.
There you go.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing.
Exactly.
Right?
But the other thing is that we get scared of actually succeeding. And I know that may sound completely crazy, but the truth is, if we have that life that we've always dreamt of, it seems so far-fetched that we can actually be happy.
Yeah.
That we sabotage. That word keeps coming up. But we need to pull people around us that can believe in us. And that's what the power call does in the morning. You're in the vibration of that. And then also the 5 closest friends that you're around, or the ones that have the most attention, are influencing you even if you do not recognize it.
Wow. Now, now how can you tell when your ideas are not your own? In other words, you've come to some conclusions that perhaps you start to think, well, maybe I wouldn't have come to that conclusion if, and if this person hadn't done this or this person hadn't said that. How do you know? What do you measure with?
As long as it's something that feels right going forward, I'd say go for it. But if you're doubting again and you feel hesitant or nervous or questioning, or you're seeking outside opinion, there's a difference between opinion and counsel.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you're seeking outside opinion and you're simply wanting to justify the moves that you're making, you're probably not making a move that's in your core value stream.
Right, and that's why you're uncomfortable.
That's why you're uncomfortable.
Gotcha.
Your red alerts are going off.
Yeah.
But if you get counsel from wise people that have been there, done that, and succeeded, not just talked about it, but succeeded.
Read it in a book.
Yeah. You can read it all day long in a book, but did you do it?
That's right.
Well, call the author.
That's exactly right.
But also get that discernment that you know that you're following your footsteps. And I'd say that's which way we go as business owners, because we need to reinvent what business is all the time. That's how we emerge into these new forms of business that are actually going to help our economy.
Super. When we come back, Tina, I want you to share with our listeners how you got into this business versus all the other things you could have done or may have done.
Sounds good.
Okay. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, brought to you by Sales Nexus. If you have not had a chance to download your free trial copy of Sales Nexus Customer Relationship Management System, you can do so by going to salesnexus.com. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us. More with Tina Marie Jones right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan. The storm coming. The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham Directed. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Today you're listening to Cruz and Hughes, and guess what? We have Miss Tina Marie Jones on the show with us today, and we're talking about, if you're just joining us, folks, we're talking about letting the brakes off of your personality so that you can grow the business relationships that you need. But that means that you've got to take care of yourself first, and so we have an expert in that, and Tina Marie Jones is actually a speaker, a coach, an author, and an expert in the area. And before we went to break, I asked Tina Marie if she would share with us a little bit about how she got into this kind of business, because one of the things that I know, Tina, is people who are very talented people can pretty much do whatever they decide they're going to do. So right. I'm pretty certain that there was a whole long list or a range of businesses you could have gotten into. How did you choose? How did you arrive at choosing this business? Why did you get into this?
Well, whenever I was in sales and business development for a major consulting firm, I saw that the clients that I was calling on, I'm selling software and hardware and rack systems and things like that, but it came down to the relationship.
Sure.
And what I found was I'd have a lot more success when I got to know the person and the reason why they are even in the job and what service they provide and if they felt they were doing that well for their company. Because a lot of us have fear that if we don't do a good job, we're going to get canned. Okay?
Right.
And so they may not have been the business owner, but they needed to have a stake in the business so that they could succeed in what they were doing. Then I also work with the business owners. And those people that were in decision-making places were some of the most unhealthy. They would find relationship issues. They're going through just a lot of dilemma within their own mind. And I found that I was a lot more equipped to help them even implement software and hardware if I got to know the person.
Gotcha.
And it didn't come down to me selling them software or hardware. They'd buy from me because I was more concerned with the person.
Sure.
So as I left that consulting arm, I realized that I had a knack at finding what's in the way for the decision and is the decision right for you in any case. And I developed my own systems around that. In fact, I've got the Entrepreneur's Review. And for entrepreneurs, the one thing that we do not do very much for ourselves, we'll set business plans and do all our P&Ls and all that kind of stuff, and we interact with our employees. But the last thing we'll do is rate ourselves.
Right.
You know, we can do that, the monthly review or the quarterly review or the annual review with our employees, but do we honestly sit down with ourselves and do a review of ourselves?
Right.
And so I set up a system by how you do the review, but you ask all of your customers.
Wow.
Your customers review you as an entrepreneur. And the hardest one that I said they need to do first was you call the people that quit your business, the ones that fired you as a vendor.
Right.
And you need to go back to them and you ask them, what could I have done better?
How much courage does that take?
Mm-hmm. Well, people that work with me better be ready to get some courage. Courage injections.
Better pull up some courage if you're going to work with Tina Marie.
You do. We gain muscle in business.
So you really had a heart to help, and that kind of led you to develop this system to help people get to where they're supposed to go.
Right. I saw business owners struggling, and we get really brought down by all the media that's out there. And the strange thing is, you and I are in the media.
Right.
And we can't hit the media too hard because we're in it. But there is a lot of story out there about how hard things are, and I just want to debunk that.
Right.
It's not hard for those people that get up, understand the plan, get out there and serve, and do what they know they're supposed to do when they are going to do it, and stop making excuses.
Right. You know, Tina, you have a quote that I ran across, and I want to share it on the show today because I really want you to expand on it. Cinema of the mind.
Right.
Cinema of the mind.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now, when I read that, it kind of gave me the impression or maybe even the inclination that we really think that way, that there's a big screen going on, and are we seeing ourselves in that cinema, or are we seeing everyone else in that cinema and we're sort of spectating?
Right.
What's your take on that? Can you expound on that, cinema of the mind?
Well, just like an old movie projector, we're going to project upon the screen of our minds the very results that we want to have. And if we're not projecting our own pictures onto the screen, somebody else will.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's where those opinions come in, and that's where the influence of the media or the government or our competition comes in, and we get scared because other people are producing our movie.
Right.
But if we get in control and we're the director of our lives, we're the director of our businesses, then we choose what we're going to project upon the cinema and the screen of our mind. And that way we feel more in control, and we can follow the path. And when the movie changes, we know how to change and flow with it.
You know, that's important because, while you were talking, I'm thinking about something we touched on earlier, and that was authentication.
Right.
If you're projecting your images onto the cinema of your mind, boy, it better be authentic. Because if it's not, then somebody can bust you.
Oh, yeah, and we fear that. We fear being busted.
Yeah. I mean, all of a sudden,
like, don't look underneath the kimono. Don't do that.
Just have a sign up that says, "Don't look under here."
No.
Yeah, you don't want that. So really, even if somebody is projecting something onto their mind about themselves, a lot of people would say that, well, I need to be able to tell what's authentic and perhaps what's not. Because what I find is some people will tend to project where they are today, and they call that authentic. But the truth is, if it's in their mind, this is my opinion, if it's in their mind and it's a picture of their future, the way they want to be, maybe they're not like that today, but it's the way they want to be. A lot of people will say, well, I need to project the way I am now for it to be authentic. What's your thought on that?
I get it. Show up where you are right now in your authenticity. That's cool because your nervous system relaxes. You're not pretending. There's no pretentiousness there. But you do need to have a portion of yourself that is living that life in the future, and you act as if.
Right.
And so I ask people, go grocery shopping as that person that's successful. Feel that in your body. You don't need to be talking about it. I'm not asking you to be a braggart and go out there and talk about it. You simply show up going, you know what? If I'm going to be that business owner that has made the $1 million revenue for this year, what will that person be feeling in their body when that success is there?
Yeah.
How are they going to be showing up? How are they going to dress? How are they going? What conversations are they going to be having? Who are you going to be hanging out with when that happens?
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So in your mind, you act as if, and the universe will take as many steps toward you as you take toward it. It's rushing right toward you with that end result. But yes, the authenticity is saying, I am showing up here and now because I have faith that that's coming, because I know why I want it. It's not to show off and be a braggart or anything like that. I just know that I deserve this life.
Right.
And many of us forget that we're deserving of happiness.
Right. That's right. And see, deserving, a lot of people feel like they don't deserve. And that's because I made mistakes, or I was undisciplined, or somebody told me that, whatever you do, never get in this business.
Well, join the crowd.
I'm wondering how much of that do we buy into as business people, and then how much of that do we actually internalize, and now that becomes a limitation, or it becomes a stronghold or a hurdle, literally, for us to cross over. Do you find that to be the case?
Yeah. I mean, many of us don't even take time to inventory the thoughts that are going through our heads.
Right.
We're not conscious of those things, like you just mentioned, that are sabotaging us. Those thoughts right there are strangling many business owners across the world. And so the systems that I've got and the advice that I give, and if you want to call for a free consultation, I'm willing to help you understand what thoughts are in there sabotaging you.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget the discount, folks, that as a result of you being a listener here to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. I mean, I really thank you and appreciate that, Tina, because, folks, this is, if you don't take good care of yourself mentally, and you don't take care of yourself emotionally, you don't take care of yourself spiritually, you're going to not have the juice you need to deal with the rigors of being in small business.
Right.
It's a rigorous set of responsibilities, activities, tasks, some of this stuff you don't want to do. And if you decide to take the CEO chair, and incidentally, I'm sorry, you have that by default if you're in your own business and you are the business. That's the seat you're in. You have to protect and take care of yourself because you can really cause problems for everybody that's trying to do business with you.
Right. You said put the oxygen mask on yourself first. And that's what the power call is in the morning. It's 15 minutes from 8:45 till 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And with the BIZ code that you can use, just go to my website. Yeah, go to my website, TinaMarieJones.com, click on products. It's the power call. Use BIZ and you get it for $19.97, and that is a lifetime of calls.
That is so cool. So let me ask you this, Tina. As a business person, what inspires you to continue on? Because I can hear you, I feel you, I get that, I do. But the truth is, I know that you've probably run into some adversity during the course of your development, and especially while you've developed a system to help people get to where they're supposed to go. And we're getting ready to go to break right now, so I don't want you to address that. I want you to think about that, because when we come back, I want you to address give our listeners some of the steps that you go through to keep yourself motivated and focused, even though maybe a whole lot of the wrong thing is happening. Because I find that a lot of people will get so beat up, they'll get so down on themselves, or some circumstance has happened, and they'll actually internalize the circumstance as if they did it. And sometimes, I mean, you know, it's Hurricane Katrina. I mean, there was not a thing you had to do with that, nor was there something you could do about it. You did what you could, but a lot of that is about management, don't you think?
It's true, and it's thought management first.
Thought management first. So I want you to, when we we're going to go here, and I want you to really come back and talk about that. How do we get past that when the wrong thing keeps happening? Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by GrowSocial.com. Maximize media like Facebook and Twitter for your business. Call Grow Social at 877-484-3961. More in a moment with Miss Tina Marie Jones. Don't go away.
Turn up the sales on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free.
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan. The storm's coming. The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at svtmagazine.net. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Well, if you are just joining us, wow, you've missed a great show. I'm going to tell you right now what you do is you go to Blog Talk Radio. We archive all of our shows. If you happen to miss this show or you just tuning in, be sure and go to our Blog Talk Radio page and get our archived show. You are absolutely going to want to hear this show with Miss Tina Marie Jones as my co-host today. She is a speaker, coach, and author, and you can reach her. You can connect to her at TinaMarieJones.com, or you can give her a call at 888-721-4204. Now, Tina, we went to break, and we were talking about lots of good stuff, but I want to make sure, since we're at the bottom of the hour here, I want to get this in because you told me a story
yeah,
about your being from the South.
Mm-hmm.
And you're from where?
I'm from Jackson, Mississippi.
Jackson, Mississippi. And we would call that the South.
That's pretty deep South.
That's deep South. I want you to share your story because I was inspired by it because I thought it was such a cute story about being a Southern belle.
Yes. A friend of mine was at a dinner, white tablecloths, everything's really nice and pristine. And my co-host at the time, Mr. Ron Jackson, and he may be listening to this, she was excusing herself to the restroom, and she's doing it all very polite, like you do, and I just put on my Southern accent.
Go ahead and do it.
And she said, I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the ladies' room. And he said, well, be sure you wash your hands before you come back, madam. And she goes, I don't know where you were raised, Mr. Jackson, but from where I was raised, ladies don't pee on their hands.
That's hilarious. And I wanted you to share that story, Tina, because how much self-esteem and self-worth do you have to correct somebody in a situation like that?
Isn't that great? You just gotta go with the flow.
I think you just gotta rest with who you are, man. You know, and that's just such a cool thing because so many of us, when we're in a situation where perhaps it's somebody we want to impress or we feel pressure to be whoever it is we aren't, she was just who she is.
Exactly. And there's actually something in my blog that you just reminded me of, and that's bullyism. You know, it was a very slight bullyism by Mr. Jackson where he's wanting to take the power in that conversation for whatever purpose.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's unconscious and we just do it and we call it humor. But the truth is, or lack of, and the truth is that the biggest bullies that we're going to deal with at any time is the bully inside of our own head.
Right.
And so on my blog, I've got the inner bully and how do you manage that? And then how do you manage bullies in adult situations?
Sure.
Because we do want to stake our own ground, and that's where self-esteem can go away when we give our power away to other people. And as business owners, I just want to validate all the business owners out there right now because this is the type of stuff you're going to get on the power call in the morning, and it is that business owners are sexy. Entrepreneurs are sexy. I completely applaud you for having the courage and the audacity and the wherewithal and the gumption to get out there and start your own business, especially in this marketplace. That just shows me that you know that there's something inside you that has service and need and power in this world, and you are going to stake your claim for it. The only thing you need to invest the rest of your life is yourself. And you stay focused and stay the course because no one else is going to do it for you. Know your plan as a business owner. Surround yourself with people that believe in you. And as soon as they don't believe in you, you go up to them and instead of trying to avoid them, you say, what is it? Tell me more.
Yeah, that's right.
Seriously, if you're going to have a bully or a saboteur or somebody in your life, instead of avoiding them and doing that eggshell walk, you simply go up to them and say, you know what? I know that you've got some opinions about me and I'd like to hear more of it.
You know, let me use that as a segue and as a platform for this other question because I really want to get this in on today's show. And that is, having the right people around you and doing the right things, are those the things that you've used to keep yourself vectored and focused when bad things were happening?
Yes, definitely. If I know that there's somebody that is not, there's those types of people that will want to sabotage your good.
Sure.
And bless them, but I don't need to keep them around.
Right.
I will give you one shot, and I'll go figure out what's going on. And if I can right that relationship, cool, we're back in gear.
So you do try to fix it.
Yeah, I want to get to the truth. I'm not going to take assumptions, and I'm not going to take gossip as what's going on. But I am going to go to that person. I'm going to say, what's going on? Because if you're on board with me, great, we're going to go forward. If you're not, then thank you.
Yeah, because and that's okay.
Yes,
that's okay. If that relationship does not fit,
fair enough.
If there's stress and strain in that thing, and a lot of times people will put themselves in harm's way, I say, when you're trying to force a relationship that is just not gonna work.
Well, we try to be nice.
Right. That's right, we do. And we want to be nice.
Right.
And but sometimes I think we have to, and I just believe it's courage, Tina. I think we have to take the courage to say, okay, we got to stop here because this is not working. And if it's not working for one person, and I'm naive in this area. See, I believe that all relationships can get to a balance where everybody's cool with it. Everybody's happy. And I say naive because a lot of people in business tell me, well, you can't have a relationship like that. Either somebody's winning or somebody's losing, and I just don't believe that. Maybe I'm naive about that.
No, I believe you're right there. I just don't need to have lunch with you if you're not if you're not going down my path. I'm sorry, but
just don't need to have a pajama party.
Right. It's everybody's got their own thing to do. But but really hold sacred your time and your attention. I think far too many of us give our time and attention away to those things that are going to distract, dissuade, and completely DEFCON 4 us.
Yeah, DEFCON 4. I like that. Now, you used a word earlier. I wanted. What was it?
Einsteinism.
Einsteinism. That's reason to listen to this show right there, because you're going to get new and innovative spelling words to put on people. And this is a national show, Tina, so this is going to be really cool. You're going to have people all over the country saying, is that an Einsteinism?
It's an Einsteinism. You are the summation of the 5 people that you spend the most time and attention with.
Boy, you better be careful with those people.
You're going to end up looking like them. You're going to have health like them, your finances, your relationships, and your spirituality. So do hold sacred your time, the most valuable asset you have.
So Tina, now you being from the South, so there is some truth to the old tale, and I used to hear this when I was a kid. I don't want you playing with those people because you're going to wind up just like them. I used to hear that from my mom. My mom used to always say that, I don't want you over there playing with those people because you're going to wind up just like them. I don't want you associating with those folks because you're going to wind up just like them. Now, you got to understand, I grew up here in Southeast Houston where probably most people there were what society would consider undesirable. But the point is that those are the only people around.
Right. But I'm sure that you immersed yourself in some teaching and some learning, and you had teachers that gave you validation, really gave you a self-confidence that was outside of your own neighborhood.
Well, that's very true.
Right?
That is very true.
See?
And I had a relative that was doing that.
A relative, yes.
Yeah, I had an uncle who I just thought the world of, who really sewed into me and really built me up and really put me in situations where he really wanted me to thrive. And he was very, very good at that, finding out what you're good at, and he would always focus me on, I remember him saying, you can do that, and I would say, no, I can't. He said, oh, yeah, you can, and you're going to do it, and you're going to do it right now.
And see, that's what changed you.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, because, where I grew up, there's a lot of people who didn't do very well.
Yeah.
And I want to reach out to them even still today in hopes that maybe one of these days they can do better. But listen, we're gonna go to break. We're in the home stretch right now. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, brought to you by the Lexington Law Firm. Folks, when you need credit help, get a free consultation today by calling 888-744-7081. Don't keep bad credit. You can call these folks and get a free consultation. We're in the home stretch. Don't go away.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Steven, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan, the legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gautam's Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Today, we're here with Miss Tina Marie Jones, who is a speaker, coach, and author. And you know what, Tina? We've got to talk about your TV show.
Yeah, I have one of those.
You have a TV show. What? Tell us about the TV show real quick.
Sure. The TV show is The Power Transformation. It's on the GLN, glntv.tv, and we track people all through their lives, and whenever they're ready to transform, we help you understand how they did it.
Well, now, so it's glntv.tv.
TV.tv.
All right. No, so it's.
But you can get there from TinaMarieJones.com. That's essential on anything for the internet. Just go to TinaMarieJones.com.
Okay, so real quick, Tina, what I'd like you to do, summarize for our listeners some steps they can go through to help themselves out of a rut.
Sure. The first thing you're going to do is you start your day on the power call, 15 minutes a day, and you're going to set yourself in the right mindset. Whenever you are in a rut, you're going to find yourself surrounded by people that you can reach out to. Always have a mentor that you can reach out to that's going to help you get clarity on your own mind, because you can't do it. You're the picture inside the frame, not outside of it. And then have a plan, have a daily plan, and stay disciplined and do it. Not this yearly plan, monthly plan, weekly plan. It's a daily plan, and stay focused. And congratulate yourself at the end of the day for showing up. You are a valuable business asset to our country and to our economy, and never forget it.
That is awesome. Well, Tina, I got to tell you, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Irv.
We are absolutely, when John comes back, would you come back and join us and talk with us more about some of the things
I'm going to have to put up with his fish stories, aren't I?
Yes, you are. Because he said he was going to literally send back pictures if anyone with him caught anything and he didn't, he was going to say it was his.
Of course, we know that.
That's exactly right. Well, folks, we want to thank you for tuning in to Small Business Today. It's brought to you by Small Business Today magazine and our good friends at Sales Nexus. You can log on to our website and get your free digital copy at sbtmagazine.net, or you can go to smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Be here tomorrow, because tomorrow is Soapbox Friday, and we're going to talk more about how you can get ahead in your small business. So until tomorrow, be smart, be successful, and above all else, folks, be in action. We'll see you tomorrow.